I grew up in a Christian home my whole life. I was born into it, went to church with my family, was really involved in my church in high school, went on mission trips and did choir and all the things. I remember walking into like the pastor's office and he was like, I'm sitting on my parents' lap and he's like, do you know what this means? I'm like, yeah, but like I did not know what it meant.
I didn't grow up in a Christian household, so the only sense of the Lord I got growing up was Pine Cove, which is this camp I went to every summer, and all the people there, they were just so joyful, and I was like, wow, they must have the perfect life, nothing must be going wrong in their life, they're so happy.
Life before Jesus was pretty lonely, I would say, and so I just really felt like there was no way to enjoy my life, or I didn't have a future. Try and move forward and pretend to be happy when I never really was.
I was the kid that went to church on Sundays. I have a phrase that I say is church on Sunday, party on Monday, and that's kind of the life I was living.
I struggled a lot with anxiety and depression. I had bad relationships with friends, family. I was kind of surviving but not living.
Really just before Christ, especially in high school, I fell into a lot of just a really dark path. Had done a lot of sexual sin, pornography, just a lot of really bad stuff that we know we should not be doing, but before Christ it just seems what is natural.
I accepted Christ back when I was 8. I got baptized with my dad, and obviously it was a big moment for me. It was I feel like it was the start of really my faith journey and how important it was in my life and how it needed to be a focus. I came into college and college kind of swept me out to sea a little bit. And this year God's led me back to Him in ways that I've never been before.
I came to know the name of Christ when I was in 5th grade, and I gave my life to Christ then, but I didn't really start fully living for the Lord until my senior year of high school. My junior year, I had a lot of things end of junior year, a lot of things were just not how they used to be. So everything I threw my identity into was just kind of stripped away. And so I had to just lean on one consistent thing, and that was the Lord in my life.
So I gave my life to Christ it was second semester of my senior year of high school. That was really just when I was in a really dark time in my life. Didn't really have a lot of family, didn't really have a lot of friends, wasn't close with anybody. Just got out of a really, really bad relationship. So it was just kind of a really dark time in my life, and I just felt the nudge, kind of God just told me I'm still here.
I got to know Christ through my friends. First semester, a lot of my friends would go to Crossover, Paradigm, different on-campus ministries and stuff. And I was like, oh, I'll just be a supportive friend and go out and I'll go with them. And then after a while, it started to plant a seed, and I was like, okay. And I started taking notes, and I started learning the songs, and I was like, I'm kind of feeling it now. And then at the beginning of the second semester, I was really struggling mentally, and I was just not in a very good place. And my friend dragged me to Victory Family, and I heard exactly what I needed to hear that weekend. And then Monday came around, I went to a service then, exactly what I needed to hear. I went to Crossover, it's exactly what I needed to hear. And I was like, okay, it's 3 times at this point, back to back. There's no way there isn't.
Sophomore year, I met a girl, and she kind of started Bible studying with me every Wednesday, and she helped me a lot. And then she graduated, and I kind of just hit rock bottom again. And that was when I knew that something needed to change. It's just Him being in my life and knowing that I'm really not alone, I guess. And even in my hard times, He's always there for me. And that I can just be grateful for all of the little things. And I don't have to look at everything as a big thing in life, but just to see I got to go and ride in my car and listen to music today, and that's a win for me.
So a few months ago, I was very, very depressed, and I was in therapy. It wasn't doing a whole lot. I felt completely alone, and I just wanted to give up. I didn't see the point in living anymore. and Bailey Coyle. She invited me to crossover in the spring semester, and I was like, I don't want to feel like this anymore. I'm going to give it a chance, and if it helps, because I was just like at rock bottom, and I needed just anything to be able to pull me up.
I've always had a relationship with him, but that hasn't always been easy by means. I think I can definitely think of times where I have kind of run away from my relationship with God rather than running towards it and getting closer with him. College is hard. I definitely faced some struggles and obstacles that I should have definitely been leaning on God more towards, where looking back now, I can tell that I definitely didn't, and I probably chose to lean on other things that weren't gonna benefit me and help me in the long run.
Crossover has done so much for me. It's helped me get connected. Being a first-year student, most of my friends are first years, and I'm almost intimidated by the upperclassmen. But with Crossover, I'm friends with sophomores, juniors, seniors. I'm friends with people that are already graduated, people that don't go to this school even.
One night at Crossover, Brent talked about Ephesians 5 and the way that you should speak in your speech, and that's what really got me to cut off my friends that I knew were wrong for me. It helped me build my relationship with Christ, also putting the Word of God into my walk, and just completely changing my life. And Crossover has a special place in my heart just because of that and how it changed, and I needed to hear that message, and I know that Christ wanted me to.
Going every week and then going to retreat and meeting everybody, it's nice to go and then see familiar faces and just be excited to see people I saw at the retreat. And it was just a good way to get church in my schedule outside of Sundays.
It's just given me a really great community to actually feel like I can worship and not be judged. And just being with people that want a relationship with Christ, because none of my friends want that. So just being around people who have the same goals and wants that I do, and just really want to live life for God. And it's just been so nice to just be surrounded by that community.
It honestly has brought me closer to my friends. It's brought me closer to my relationship with God. I think it really has taught me a lot too. I feel like I didn't have the knowledge of the Bible and just really know deeply how to talk to God, and it's kind of given me a good set up and has taught me a lot, and I learned how to have a relationship with God and how to deeply connect with him and talk to him, and how to talk with your friends about him.
I definitely could not be more thankful for Crossover for being such a constant these past 4 years. Not only has it helped me remain stable in my relationship with God, but it has helped me grow it in ways where I didn't even know were possible, I didn't think about before.
Crossover's been my foundation where I'm struggling or I'm wanting to make a decision, and that's where I come back to, and helps me make decisions that'll honor the Lord.
So now there's a lot more hope, a lot more peace through the bad times. Instead of going to drugs, alcohol, being angry at people, I'm more peaceful. I understand that there's a greater purpose for this now. I pray about it. I'm not by myself anymore. And it's just completely changed me. It's if you could see me before, it's a complete 180.
I feel like joy is just the perfect word.
Once he really started working on me and growing my faith and growing just my confidence in who I am in him, I finally was able to be hopeful in all the decisions that I'm making, and knowing that the decisions that I'm making are only through him, and that I'm not making it on my own accord.
I don't know, I'm just very happy with where I am, and knowing that I am going somewhere is, I don't know, it gives me something to look forward to.
I think Jesus has changed my life in so many ways, but I think just having excitement for my future, I would say, is one of the biggest things. I used to dread even just the thought of having to wake up the next day. I just wanted to sleep forever, and I think now I go to bed and I'm so excited to just wake up and experience what he has planned for me that day.
Something that I wish I would have known coming into college, and really that would have been able to push my faith forward, is saying yes to all the pushes that the Holy Spirit has for you, whether it's walking to class and I'm in a good mood, so I don't need to be playing worship music, or I don't need to sit down and pray just because I'm doing good that day, but it needs to be a consistent walk with him rather than going to him out of desperation or just because I'm in a dark place that day.
You're gonna face battles and you're gonna hit times where you feel like you're stuck and you have nowhere to go or you have no one to talk to, but the Lord is always there and he loves you so much and he will always be there for you. He's always faithful, and I would just say trust in him and follow and deepen your relationship with the Lord.
I think something I would have wanted to know was that not everyone's relationship is the same. I always used to think that like read the Bible like so many times a day, or like get this far into the Bible, or like pray a certain way. And so I think just knowing that your relationship's different and it's gonna vary, and you may like fall back a little bit in your relationship and then find him again, and that's okay because he's always gonna be there by your side, like with open arms ready for you to come back.
One question that I always have is, what's holding you back? I really want to know what's holding you back from believing in this. I'd love for you to reach out to somebody. If it's me, if you see me, I would like to know why. Because the piece that you're missing, you might be feeling a little hole in you, something that you can't ever fill, but you might think that things of this world might, like I did before I was saved. The peace is Jesus. It really is. The peace that comes with it, the happiness, just when you're alone, you never feel truly alone. It truly sets everything else apart from you, from this world, and it completely changes you.